We're thundering towards the MotoAmerica AMA FIM North American Road Race Championship. It's Mission King of the Baggers, round 5 of 7 for 2025 at a Permco MotoAmerica Superbike at Mid-Ohio weekend from Lexington, Ohio. Race 1 is coming up. Welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Greg White, standing alongside two-time national champ Jason Pridmore. Now, Jason, this class has been interesting this season, but when you boil everything down, including the arguments and the battles on track, it's been all Kyle Wyman.
All Kyle Wyman, and it's one thing to be consistent, Greg. It's another thing to be consistently winning, and we saw him right out of the box at Daytona on the high banks take his number 33 to a double victory down there at round 1. And Greg, it just continued. We go to Atlanta. He wins in Atlanta. Then we head off to MotoAmerica. Of course, the famous Harley sweep on the podium that caused a little bit of spark in the paddock. Then we have him winning at Laguna Seca. All Kyle Wyman has done this year has been consistent and winning with 186 total points.
That gives him a 76-point lead over Loris Basna's championship. There's a possibility he could wrap up the #1 plate this weekend. So this race, so important for Kyle Wyman if he wants to wrap it up early. But Jason, it's all about Mid-Ohio. It's up and down, and it's fun.
Yeah, we came back here in 2024, Greg, and it's such a welcome back to the calendar. Turn 1, short run to there, up to that famous keyhole. From the keyhole down to turn 6, a lot of hard braking. Then you get into the technical part, a lot of lefts and rights, Thunder Valley through turn 11. Then all-important turn 14. You got to get in there, Greg. Keep close to that curbing on the inside on the last lap because it's a short run to the checkered flag.
And this racetrack promotes a lot of corner speed, and that's what this former #1 has. As we look at the Insta 360 from Hayden Gillum, we'll be back for race 1 in a moment.
Hayden Gillum getting ready to start from pole position here. Rog, he was our race winner in the challenge race earlier on. Picked up a check for $5,000, but there's 25 points on offer now. And for Troy Herfoss from the middle of the front row, we saw just how good he was off the line in that 3-lap race. Needs to make that quick start once again.
Yeah, and for Hayden, he's been fast all week, not only on the Superbike, but also this bagger qualifying on pole, winning that Mission Challenge. Troy got a great start, and that's what he's going to need to do again at the start of this race, try to get a good start and get out there and get out front.
Yeah, and on the outside of that front row of the grid as well, teammate to Hayden Gillum is the number 97, Rocco Landers. And Rocco's looked in good form here, particularly yesterday. Very strong right from the start in the baggers class. In qualifying too, a little bit more difficult for him, but a front row start nonetheless.
Yeah, front row start, and for Rocco, we know he's really good during the races, puts himself in some good spots. So I think it's just kind of the same strategy for a lot of these guys. Is the start's going to be key because Hayden is so fast. You don't want him to get out in the lead and get going early on because he's going to get too big of a gap that they're going to not be able to close down.
What about for the baggers class as well? Obviously, we saw the oil slick that's been dried up, but it was a big issue during the course of the Superbike race. Riders having to take the inside or the outside line. That makes this siding lap and the warm-up lap really critical for the riders to understand where they want to put their bikes.
And it's going to make it harder to pass as well. So I think you're going to see all different lines like we've seen in the Superbike race. Some guys were going under it, some guys were going around the outside of it.
And James Rispoli there in the 43, making a quick start to the warm-up lap. No surprise given that it's the first time he's been on this bike since the crash this morning. Just wants to make sure all systems go on the number 43, Harley Davidson. And Rispoli will lead off the second row of the grid alongside championship leader Kyle Wyman. And we're just about ready for 9 laps of action. Greg White and Jason Pridmore will take us through the action here in the Mission King of the Baggers.
In Indian and custom V-twin motorcycles. By NXT Bets. Play MotoAmerica for cash. Multiple race classes live on top sports books and DFS platforms all season long. And by Permco, a leading manufacturer of high-pressure hydraulic gear, vane pumps and motors, flow dividers, intensifiers, and accessories.
All right, welcome back to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Here's a look at the starting grid. It's Hayden Gillum on pole, Herfoss, and Rocco Landers.
Then we're going to have Rispoli, Kyle Wyman, and Cam Peterson. That Factory Harley team did a good job of getting Rispoli's bike back together. Baz, Bradley Smith, Tyler O'Hara, Wyman, West, and Flinders. Bradley Smith, I believe, is a scratch, and Travis Wyman is actually on Bradley Smith's factory Harley for this race.
Yeah, he certainly is, and there was an incident earlier on, and we wish Bradley Smith a speedy recovery. All right, 9 laps scheduled for Mission King of the Baggers here at Mid-Ohio. You'll notice that there's some oil dry off the back straightaway. We'll tell you more about that when we get there.
Wow.
So away we go racing.
Herfoss with the start, Greg. I mean, it looked like he just got that thing launched absolutely perfect. The guy I think everybody's worried about is the 69 of Hayden Gillum. He is showing some real pace, and is he going to make this pass? He does. He makes the pass immediately on Herfoss. So for Hayden Gillum now, who has just come off riding a superbike, so he knows
Certainly
track
has.
conditions, doesn't he? He knows track conditions. He's got to try 9 laps on this bagger, and he's already starting to pull away a little bit. You got Rispoli there in 3rd spot, and I'm trying to just figure out who is in 4th at the moment.
All right, so we're going to come down the back straightaway here. This is normally a place where people are going to attack on the brakes. As we get into the braking zone, you can watch the 69 tip it in, and you'll notice that oil dry right there. Some riders are going to go inside and outside of it. But for Hayden Gillum, that's the track knowledge that Jason was talking about. He's got a lot of it in this field of Mission King of the Baggers because he was on that superbike. You can see the oil dry left on the track. Now from this point forward, it's a really good racetrack to race on. But Hayden Gillum, boy, Jason, it was the mid part of the carousel way back a few corners ago. He was able to get that bike off the corner compared to the number 1 of Herfoss, and this is the lead he's enjoying at the moment on lap number 1 of 9.
Yeah, but let's talk about Troy Herfoss for a minute. This guy never gives up, Greg. The win he had in the 2nd race at Road America will go down as one I'll always remember. He is a fighter, so he is going to pace himself based off of what he sees Hayden Gillum able to do. And these guys all know that Gillum just got off the racetrack, so he's going to have a little bit of an advantage. Now, that's Cam Peterson. That's who I didn't recognize in 4th. So for Cam P, this is the best we've seen him run early in a race. Kyle Wyman, our points leader, who's had a very strange weekend so far, just keeping his nose clean back there in 5th. So he's going to follow Cam Peterson. And, you know, with a big points lead right now, Kyle Wyman is not going to take any big unnecessary chances as you see Hayden Gillum pulling away a little bit more, Greg, in this 1st sector.
Hey, don't forget to play MotoAmerica for cash. The Superbike Baggers and Supersport Series are now live on top sportbooks and DFS platforms. Scan the flow code or visit nxtbets.com/playma to see what's available in your location. Sign up, claim exclusive bonuses, and make your picks now.
Man, Kyle Wyman there had a big run on the, he's taking that outside line, outside the dry sweep was Kyle Wyman. So he had a big run on Cam Peterson trying to get back past him there. Wasn't able to do it. Cam Peterson doing a nice job holding on to the fact that Rispoli's just up the road in front of him.
Cam Peterson on the SDI Racing Indian Challenger having a good go at it. Now let's welcome the 3rd member of our broadcast team into Mission King of the Baggers, Jamie Howe.
Thank you, Greg. It is still hot and steamy here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Track temperature 111 degrees. And I want to talk about Kyle Wyman. He's been hot all season long, 6 victories. Now he has a new sticker aboard both his helmet and his Harley Davidson. Number 1, Dad. He and his wife, Hannah. Congratulations to them welcoming son Styles to the family. But for Kyle coming into this weekend, you mentioned it's been a strange one for him. And one of the things that they've really been struggling with is just those laundry lists of issues that they've had from session to session, and Kyle said that the issues are so profound that they haven't been able to address each and every one of them. And so when he came out for the race today, instead of doing the 1 standard sighting lap, Kyle actually came down pit lane. He did 2 of them, still trying to work through the motions, but he said, big picture, I'm not thinking about a single other person out there on that racetrack. His eyes are forward, his head is down. It's all about collecting as many points as he possibly can.
And he's trying to collect a little more now off the back straightaway as he outbreaks Cameron Peterson. But where's he going to be able to turn the bike in? That outside line.
Love that.
So a good job by the 33. And Jay, you know, I was going to comment off of Jamie's report. You've been coming here for about 33 years yourself.
Yeah.
And the one thing that we know about Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, whether it's been freshly paved and as nice as it is now or in the old asphalt, this is a very complicated racetrack to make a motorcycle go faster around.
It's very flowy. It's got some nuances about it that can make it tricky. You see some of these the little hills they go over there, like when they're going in and out of Thunder Valley. I'm just really impressed by the fact that Kyle Wyman chose a line down there where it looked like he was going to go down the inside. He broke up underneath Cam Peterson going down into turn 6 on the inside, then let the bike just kind of drift out over that dry sweep on the outside and makes that pass stick. So the 33 moving forward, he's got his teammate that he's going to have to look at for the next couple of laps. That's James Rispoli up there in 3rd. The 33 is going to do everything he can to close that gap. At the front, 28.7, but how about a 28.5 from our defending champion, Troy Herfoss? And then this guy, the 43 of James Rispoli, as he runs just a little bit wide, entering the keyhole. Last time we saw him, Greg, was in qualifying this morning, having a big tip-off going into the fastest corner at this track, turn 2. He lost the front there, so I can't imagine the work that his crew has done to get him back out there.
Tip of the cap to the Harley-Davidson Dynojet Factory Racing team of James Rispoli. When he crashed that bike, it tumbled, and it was an absolute yard sale. But also, look at the Revzilla Motul Vance and Hines Harley-Davidson team, the 69, the former Mission King of the Baggers, national champion, now running the 69 out of Owensboro, Kentucky. Hayden Gillum has been fast since they rolled this motorcycle off the truck, but all eyes on Troy Herfoss, the SNS Indian Motorcycle Challenger racer from Australia. He's closing in.
Yeah.
Here's a look at what happened with Rispoli earlier today.
This front locks up, Greg, and you can see all the sparks. James gets himself away from the bike. The bike would go on, like you say, and kind of pull itself apart as it would start flipping through the Mid-Ohio grass here. It ended up back on the racetrack. We had to red flag the session. So the main thing is James is up and okay, and he's on a good bike, it looks like, Jamie.
One of the things that Rispoli said after the fact was that it looked pretty dramatic, but it's because these bikes are so heavy that when they crash hard, and it does. There's no option except for all those parts and pieces to fly off of them. But in his case, physically, he was just fine, and he skid up the whole backside of his leathers. He had another set waiting for him, so he was all good. But he said didn't even have a scratch or a bruise, which was pretty remarkable when you take a look at those replays.
Yeah, it definitely is. And when you're sliding on the grass like that and you're looking at your bike tumbling, you know that you're giving your crew a lot of work to do. And speaking of a lot of work, a 128.444 for Troy Herfoss, the fastest lap of the race so far. Whoa, it looked to me like Herfoss might have been running out of real estate there for a moment as he tried to turn his Indian Challenger, but holds on, no problem. So now the gap is down to just under 0.7 of a second. Here comes the Australian.
Yeah, and I love seeing this, and this is a nice rebound for Indian. They haven't really been the same team that we had seen last year. As you look at Herfoss riding the wheels off this. Now, Greg, last year when we were here, we had a red flag shortened race late while he was pushing onto the back of Kyle Wyman. And here we go again. Now he's trying to catch the back of Hayden Gillum here. We're going to look at this lap time. The 2 leaders are going to come across the line now. Gillum with a 128.7 matched by Tyler Harris. You look at team owner Terry Vance on the left-hand side of your screen with that Revzilla Harley-Davidson team. And Hayden Gillum, he's just seeing +0 on his board each lap, isn't he?
He certainly is. So we'll see if the team gave him the hurry up that Herfoss is closing in. The problem that I see with Herfoss is even though he's extremely fast, he's using so much racetrack, he's not going to have a lot left if he gets to Hayden Gillum, and Hayden's able to drop his times back down into the 128.4 range as Hayden has a look over his shoulder, Jamie.
Remember back last time we had the baggers out at the racetrack was back at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Both of those races, Hayden Gillum was unable to finish. They struggled with transmission issues and blowing them up all weekend long. The team went and tested just last week, and they were able to fix the problems that they had, but it created a whole bunch of new ones. And over the course of the last 7 days, that Revzilla team has built 4 brand new engines to bring out here to Mid-Ohio. So far, everything is held together and it's working, and the team feels pretty rejuvenated with all the work that they've done behind the scenes and now seeing it pay out on the racetrack.
Well, they certainly are, but who's seeing somebody on the racetrack is the number one. I mean, Herfoss nearly passed Hayden Gillum off the back straightaway on a back straightaway that is like a little bit of a hold your breath, I'm going to pass you here kind of situation.
2 different lines, but that's Troy testing things down there at the end of the back straight. And what Hayden Gillum is doing is he's kind of braking on the inside and then crossing over that dry sweep to that outside line. And that's why it looked a little closer than it actually was. But for Troy, he's carrying so much roll speed through the middle of Thunder Valley. He's getting out on that yellow curbing so early on the exit of that corner. And that's where we saw Hayden have a big issue last year. If you remember, Greg, he tipped over coming over that Thunder Valley area. So for Gillum right now, he's looking at about 2.5 laps to go. Let's see if he has another peak. I doubt he will. He'll probably keep his head down, but you can see here, see how wide Troy is? He is just riding the wheels off that bike and letting the bike just roll through the middle of these turns, and now he's backing it in, coming into the last turn.
All right, so back down the back straightaway. Hayden Gillum choosing the line, the wider line, and the roll speed. But, oh boy, that leaves the door open with 2.5 laps to go.
He's going to have to be careful about that. You don't want to open the door anywhere between that right and the left. So for Hayden, he's going to have to be knowing that there's somebody right behind him and shut that door off. As you see, he does a nice job of it through here. And but watch how early Troy, see how early he gets out on that yellow paint? He's out there very, very soon. So he's getting on the gas very hard up over the top of that hill.
If you're just joining us, Mission King of the Baggers here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course race number 1. This is the Harley-Davidson Road Glide versus the Indian Challenger for the lead. The Revzilla Motul Vance & Hines Harley-Davidson rider Hayden Gillum, your former national champ, being hounded by the current national champ on the S&S Indian Motorcycles, an Australian named Troy Herfoss, who has 3 Australian Superbike titles to his credit. What a battle we have up front with less than 2 laps to go.
Yeah, he's definitely ramping up. You can see it, you can sense it. He's ramping up to do something, and I think what he wants to do, Greg, is get as close to as he can to Gillum out of the back of the keyhole here. So they're gonna roll through. Hayden's so good in the middle of that.
Really good.
He is so good.
Ooh,
that
Troy?
is saving him. Did you see the rear tire break loose a little bit there? Hayden's so good at letting that big Harley roll through the middle of the keyhole. Troy loses enough space there where he just can't get close enough into the braking area here at the end of the back straightaway. Now, Hayden goes tight.
Yeah,
Hayden
different
goes
line.
tight, and he's going to make maybe a little bit straighter line going into this next tight left. So Gillum adjusts his line at the end of the back straightaway, but what's really saving Hayden right now is that mid-corner roll speed through the middle of the keyhole.
What I like about Hayden, what he just did too, is if Troy attacks him off the back straightaway, Hayden's already tested his 2 line options. So he's going to know how to get through either if the inside line opens up or the outside line opens up. And now, on the back of his best lap of the well, close, a 129.0 for Kyle Wyman, he's now moved himself around his teammate Rispoli into 3rd place. So a podium position for your championship points leader. But here we go to the final lap. The white flag is flying here in Mission King of the Baggers, race number 1.
Yeah, so now we got to try to decide where's Troy going to do this, because he's really good through here. He'll pull up onto the back of Hayden by the time we get up to the top of this hill on turn 2. He tries to gain as much time into here as he can, but where Hayden is amazing is once he gets this Vance & Hines Harley-Davidson turned into here, he just rolls it in and around. See how wide Troy goes? He's trying to square this thing up, but look at the gap that Gillum pulls out mid-corner, and he's just not close enough to him down the back straightaway to get in the draft and then pull out into a spot where he could try to potentially break him, outbreak him.
Does have a bit of a speed advantage because he's in the draft about 4 miles an hour. Not able to do anything with it. Hayden goes sideways. Is he able to keep it tight? He is,
Better
but he
not
slows
open
it
this
down
door.
a lot. Here we go. Down tight goes Gillum. So no opportunity for Herfoss. It looked like if there was, he would have pounced on it. So Gillum now starting to ride the inside lines, and that makes Mid-Ohio really difficult to pass.
See Troy's bike snapping around there as well. Now it's going to get really tricky, all this last part. Gillum does a nice job of closing this off. Troy's going to get a big run on the exit of coming out of Thunder Valley. Now Gillum's got to just be really tidy in here. Very hard to pass down through this area. He's got to get the bike back over to the right side of the track and basically put this Harley in the grass almost, Greg, to control his apex speed through here, and Hayden should have this one.
Final couple corners to go. Does the Indian have the squirt off the corner to challenge for the line? Onto the front straightaway we go. Checkered flag flies, and it's got to be Hayden Gillum with his win over Herfoss. And here comes the factory Harley-Davidson of Kyle Wyman and James Rispoli. Cameron Peterson with a nice 5th place finish over Loris Baz. Rocco Landers comes across the stripe as well. He's in there, and Tyler O'Hara and Travis Wyman and Flinders. So what a race for those two. Herfoss closed that gap, and Troy Herfoss will be credited with the fastest lap of the race, a 1:28.444. But you can see on lap number 2, Hayden threw down a 1:28.466 and was able to hold on to that lead and take the victory. We'll talk to Hayden Gillum when we get back to Mid-Ohio after this.
Two out of 2 for Hayden Gillum here this weekend. So far, Raji's picked up the 25 points now for the race win here in the opening race of the weekend for the Mission King of the Baggers class. He also has his $5,000 check for winning the challenge race earlier on today. He had to ride defensively at the end there and put his bike where he needed to.
He was just so smart there the last couple of laps. making there was no room to pass for Troy. And Hayden's did this all weekend. He's been fast. He's been the guy to beat. And he's put a lot of laps in and really did good. And it's just great to see the Revzilla Vance and Hines Harley team. They struggled early on in the year, and the teams worked super hard. And now they get the reward.
Obviously as well for Troy Herfoss, tried to challenge for that race win, but not all bad for him. Moves up into second in the standings ahead of his teammate Loris Baz now after those 20 points for him, but tried as he could to make a move on Hayden Gillum. It's a big step forward from where we saw Troy yesterday. It was a struggle in Friday qualifying, and then today he's been able to bring the fight to the front once again.
Yeah, the big thing for Troy, I think, if he can figure out the keyhole a little better, because Hayden gets such a run out of there where he's not able to draft on the straightaway. So I think if Troy can do a little better through there, he might get close enough to be able to make a pass in the draft, which is the easiest way. These baggers are hard to pass. They're wide bikes.
Yeah, and obviously on the run down in towards turn 6 where we saw the compound down as well, the riders haven't decided if you go wide or tight on the entry, and we saw Herfoss a couple of times trying different things as well. He was willing to put it on the line, and that last lap carried a lot of speed through 6, but just not quite able to make the move for the race victory. But Hayden Gillum able to celebrate his race win, and just coming back down into the pits now for Hayden. His first win of the season, and very well earned here in the King of the Baggers class, and we're going to get the chance to hear from him down in the podium area in just a couple of minutes time. Let's go back to Greg and JP.
Mission King of the Baggers coverage is brought to you by Mission Foods, the world's leading brand for tortillas and wraps. By Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series. By Drag Specialties, an industry-leading distributor of aftermarket parts and accessories for Harley-Davidson, Indian, and custom V-twin motorcycles. By NXT Bets, play MotoAmerica for cash. Multiple race classes live on top sports books and DFS platforms all season long. And by Permco, a leading manufacturer of high-pressure hydraulic gear, vane pumps and motors, flow dividers, intensifiers, and accessories.
Big wheel in the air for the 69 on a big W. So Hayden Gillum, his 7th win in Mission King of the Baggers. Here's a look at the provisional results that we have prepared for you. Margin of victory for Gillum, just a 1/10 of a second over Herfoss. Wyman, Rispoli, Campee, Loris Baz, Landers, O'Hara, Wyman, and Max Flinders rounding out your top 10. All right, let's get down to Jamie Howe, who's in winner's circle with our victor.
Big congratulations and celebrations all around for Hayden Gillum. The first time we've seen him win in Mission King of the Baggers in over a year. And Hayden, for you, a lot of work went into this one. When you think about everything behind you, all the team behind you, what sort of a repayment is this?
It's a big one. This is the first time I've been on the podium this season. First time I've been on the podium since Laguna last year. I can't thank these guys enough. They worked their butts off. Yeah, that was good. I'm a little tired after the Superbike race and then this one, but it was man, it was a fun race. Trying to keep Troy behind me. Yeah, I can't thank the whole Revzilla, Motul, Vance Hines guys enough. This week they had to really work double time. I blew a couple bikes up last weekend, and they had to go back through everything and rebuild everything coming into this weekend, and so this one goes out to those guys.
Congratulations. For Troy Herfoss, we saw that intense battle in defense of this championship title, but you said earlier that this team has had to go through every single part of this motorcycle, get it back to the bike that you've had in the past. We saw you wanting to make that move. What more did you need in this first race?
Look, there's lots of stuff I need and I want, and I'm just so happy for the S&S Indian Challenger. Like, this bike's been probably sitting there wondering why they're going so slow. We're all changing stuff on it and trying to go better, and it's only because we want more and we know we have to keep pushing. And yeah, hats off to everyone at Indian Motorcycles. Yeah, like I said, at S&S. There's so many sponsors I've got to thank. Mission Food. I haven't been up here for a while. I'm getting a bit nervous, but Gary, team, this one's for you guys. It's been a tough start of the year, and you need more, and you deserve more than what this #1 plate's giving you. But we tried our hardest, and I did enjoy it, that's for sure.
It was certainly fun to watch. Congratulations. Kyle Wyman taking all of the points that were on the table for him today, and after struggling through each of the sessions so far, you were able to get yourself back up onto the podium. What now does this do for you going into the race tomorrow?
Well, it's a little bit of a sigh of relief. I definitely owe James dinner on that one, so thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. And yeah, we've been kind of beating ourselves this weekend. It's been really tough to kind of get up to speed, and yeah, we're still probably a second off of last year. So, you know, we got the opportunity tomorrow to make another step in the morning, and yeah, if a bad day's third, we'll take it.
Congratulations.
All right, so good job by Kyle Wyman, and oh, shout out to new mom, Hannah. Let's take a look at the standings here for Mission King of the Baggers. All right, so Kyle Wyman now with a 78-point lead over her Foss. Laura Spaz with 82, and Tyler O'Hara there at 108. So you can see Hayden Gillum back there, 119 points back in 6th place. But if he has the same result tomorrow, expect him to gain a couple of positions in the championship standings. Been a long time since we saw the #1 plate on the podium, let alone a win. So time for celebrations to begin for everyone involved in this podium celebration, but especially for the Revzilla Motul Vance and Hines Harley Davidson team. It's been a bit of a drought for them, for Hayden Gillum, and what a great win for that team. We certainly hope you enjoyed race action here from Mid-Ohio. We get to do it again tomorrow, 4 o'clock East. For Jamie Jason, I'm Greg. We'll see you then.
I'm Jonathan with Motul Performance Lubricants. We're proud to be the official lubricant